Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 31st December 2016. The first article, the Supreme Court's report card. In this, we will evaluate the functioning of the Supreme Court this year through three important judgments. One is NJAC, and the second thing is criminal defamation, third one is national anthem. Now, in the case of NJAC, Supreme Court declared it as null and void, stating that it is violative of the judicial independence, which is a basic structure of the Constitution. 99th Constitutional Amendment Act it brought in the NJAC. According to this, it shall consist of three Supreme Court judges, including CJI, two eminent persons, and law minister. So these six people will constitute a committee that will recommend for the appointments to the highest judiciary. And the next one is the Supreme Court also stated that the collegium system has to be revisited to improve transparency and asked the government to take up the necessary consultations. And finally, it has led to a conflict between executive and judiciary over the appointment of judges. The delay in the appointment and confirmation of the recommendations made by the collegium to the government has led Mr. Thakur, the Chief Justice of India, to say that the executive is trying to bring the judiciary to a grinding halt. And coming to criminal defamation, IPC 499 and 500, they make the defamation a criminal offense in India. And in the Western countries, defamation is a civil suit. So, in this case, the Subramanya Swamy case, the Supreme Court has upheld this section 499 and 500, and its decision is based on two arguments. That is, Article 21 consists of right to reputation, and the second thing, it brought in a new theme called constitutional fraternity. It means an assurance of mutual respect and concern for each other's dignity. Now, this is a judicial innovation, this constitutional fraternity is. And then we have the third thing, that is what is called as national anthem. It means whenever a movie is being played, before that, a national anthem has to be played in the courts. So, all the people shall stand up as a respect towards the national anthem. Now, it is kind of Supreme Court imposing a rule on the people. Making any such rule is the prerogative of the legislature, and Supreme Court shall not behave itself as a super legislature. And coming to other cases, if you talk about other case, the Supreme Court did not give its judgment or clarity on right to privacy, but however it made sure or it declared that others shall not be made compulsory. And the second thing is, the Karnataka government did not follow the Supreme Court directives with regard to the release of Kaveri river water to Tamil Nadu. And then Satluj Jamuna link canal issue, the Punjab also did not follow the directives of the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has to give a strong warning to both the states over here, that is to Punjab and Karnataka in the above case. Now it all shows that the enforceability of the directives of the Supreme Court is weakening. So the Supreme Court has to assert itself to its judgments, which is very much necessary for the protection of the rights of the people and also for the establishment and proper functioning of rule of law. The managing risk in banks. Now, banks are the important institutions of financial intermediation. Their health will determine our economic growth, especially as the infrastructure needs are very heavy for the economy now. We need strong financial intermediation. But however, many of the banks suffer from poor asset quality. The NPAs of the banks have increased, and added to that, the cyber risks are posing for the banks. In this case, capital reinfusion and bringing back the banks their ability to lend. So these are important for economic growth in this country. So in this case, the best way forward to make this ill health of the bank not to be contagious, the NPAs of the bank has to be separated and it has to be transferred to another company, so that this cleaning of record will make the banks to regain their health again. So, asset reconstruction company, these are the various things India has already created in this case. And also providing security to the deposits of the, to the deposits of people is another issue with the banks. So that's why a bill has been pending, that is a financial regulation and deposit insurance bill. And once this has been passed, so we also can get our deposits insured. Now, a new dawn for Syria. You already know that a truce has come between the Syrian regime and the opponents, that is, rebels. In this, the ceasefire agreement will continue, and the Syrian regime, headed by President Assad, as he has conquered the Aleppo, as the rebels are weakening, Assad was able to negotiate from a higher table or a higher bargaining position. And in this case, Turkey, Iran, and Russia played an important role. Previously, the ceasefire agreements have come into existence, but these are through an agreement between Russia and USA. Now, all these three countries, they have the stakes in the Syria stability now. Russia don't want itself to be plunged into a situation what US made itself into in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it also wants to maintain its position in West Asia. On the other hand, Turkey, it don't want to have spillover effects of Syrian instability into its territory. And the second thing is, the Kurdish autonomy movement, independence movement is very strong in Turkey. And the Quds fighters are the strong fighters against the rebels and ISIS in Syria. So, as Quds get strengthened, their legitimacy for the demand of separate region for themselves will also increase. So, Syrian Kurds and Turkey Kurds, if the demand for an autonomous a region or a nation, that will be a big headache for Turkey. So, there is a challenge over here to this peace agreement too. Now, in West Asia, many other Gulf countries are also supporting the rebels in Syria, like Fateh al Sham from Saudi Arabia, etc. So, now, to what extent these rebels who are being financed from the other powers are going to respect the ceasefire agreement will determine the future of this particular truce. Now, let us see the business page. The double taxation avoidance agreements. Now, it has been revised with the Singapore. Previously, it was done with Mauritius and Cyprus. Now, our Singapore double taxation avoidance agreement, it was online with the Mauritius and is also revised online with Mauritius now, many people who make the money in India or who have the black money in India, they will send it to a tax haven and they will show themselves as the resident over there and they will bring that money back to India. This is what is called as round tripping. In the process, they show that money as earned in Singapore, as they are the residents of Singapore, or they show the residents of Singapore. The cost of arrows, the flight of the capital is the major problem, and this round tripping making India to lose huge tax income because these are the tax havens. The people will not be paying any taxes over there, and they will also be evading the tax in India. So this need to be avoided. For this, now a person who is a resident of Singapore, he also has to pay capital gains tax in India on the gains he made on the Indian territory. That is what is the major revision over here. And the second thing is, this will come into existence from 2019. From 2007 to 2019, so they have to pay 50% of the cost of the capital gains. But from 2019 onwards, it will be 100%. Now, coming to the news page, again, the China has blocked blacklisting of Muhammad Azhar of Jaish-e-Mohammed under 126 committee of UN. So this committee is specifically meant for Al-Qaeda and Taliban. And in this, anyone who is been blocked, so their financial sources have to be curtailed by the banks and all financial institutions across the world. The China cites the procedural reasons for blocking listing of Muhammad Azhar. And then empowerment diaries. Now, this is a very good reading for the interview this year. Understand that mobility has a major element of empowerment. In this case, in Kashmir, the entrepreneurial cells for women, separate entrepreneur or markets for selling the goods produced by women entrepreneurs, providing for mobility to the women by giving them the new vehicles sponsored by the government for meritorious students. All these are a new dimension of women empowerment in Kashmir, and it will definitely send the Kashmir unrest onto a back seat. So these are the things we need to study. As usual, I gave the questions, and along with that, I have uploaded this particular modal answer or discussion of the answer on Civils Prep a video site, that is YouTube site. And the second thing is, I'll also be getting it posted on likes.in/civilsprep. Thank you very much and all the best.